Hey everyone, I'm Mine, and this is set number 71771, the Crystal King Temple from the LEGO Ninjago theme. This set contains 703 pieces, 6 minifigures, and will retail for $79.99 in the US. This set does not come out until June 1st, 2022 in most parts of the world, and August 1st, 2022 in North America, but it was sent to me early by the LEGO Group through the LEGO Master Network, but all opinions expressed in this video are my own. Before I get started, I'd just like to ask you guys to please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm doing early reviews of all 9 of the Summer 2022 LEGO Ninjago sets, as well as early reviews of the Summer 2022 LEGO Minecraft sets, and lots of other very exciting stuff down the line. Only about 16% of my audience is actually subscribed to the channel, so if those kinds of videos sound interesting to you, by liking the video and subscribing it'll help you see them as soon as they're posted, and will also really help support me and the channel. But with all that being said, let's get on to the review. So here is the Crystal King Temple, and from the set images, this is one of the sets I was most excited for. However though, unfortunately having it in hand, it's probably maybe my least favorite of this wave, which I'm surprised to say because there's so many cool colors used, and terrain builds tend to be my favorite Ninjago sets and just my favorite LEGO sets overall. But yeah, this one just seems not complete. So let's go through each aspect of it. To start, this is actually not one build, this is 2 builds. You have this front section right here that has all the golden weapons on it, and that is separate from the main palace. And we'll take a look at that front section first, and then we'll move on to, like, the actual throne. And this whole front section is the main reason I'm not the biggest fan of this set, because just what is this? What's going on here? You have, like, this little stone stairway at the front right here that the ninja are meant to walk up, and this is the shrine that holds the new shurikens of ice. And then if we move to the right, you have this tiny little dark tan platform right here, which the idea is you have one of the ninja jump up from this base onto this platform. So they come over here and just hop up. And this can move back and forth, which very much gives me, like, video game level vibes. But, like, the movement's not very much, it's just sort of a spin. And the idea is, while this platform is moving, you have a character jump from this platform to this higher platform up here to get the Sword of Fire. But you have to be careful and dodge this large pink blade that can move in the way. But that, again, is another thing you have to move manually. Oftentimes in sets like this, there'll be, like, a knob that you spin that'll turn this and move this blade. But no, both of these things are just done by hand. You can flick it at the back right here, or you can pick it up by the blade at the front. But it really just seems like a sort of half-thought-out play feature. And this platform at the top with the Sword of Fire and the rocks coming down, I think that looks fine, but it's very small. Yeah, so I don't really have a ton to say. And then if I angle the camera down to look at the base of this thing, you can see it's just built on top of a black plate. Lots of very open Technic pieces. I'm not sure if the idea is these platforms are meant to be floating in the air, because they don't use transparent parts, they just use black parts to hold these up. So if, like, levitating was the objective, they didn't do the best job of conveying that here. But yeah, you can see that's where the lower platform can spin, that's where the upper platform can spin, and this is how you control the blade. Like, there is something here, but am I wrong, or does this just feel incomplete to you guys? This, like, right section is definitely the worst part of this entire set. But yeah, this just doesn't feel like there's anything happening here. Now coming back to the stairs, something I forgot to mention is you also have this crystal jutting out right here. You'll see these in a few parts of the set. Those are cool, but this one again just seems sort of out of place. Doesn't really fit in here. But now let's move on to the right. And the play feature here is a little bit more fun. So you have the stairwell here that the ninja is supposed to walk up to get to the nunchucks of lightning. However, if you push down this gold piece back here, the stairs fall apart. You can see this top part of the stairs drops down, and obviously the base over here moves to the side. The mechanism here is better. It is an actual mechanism, right? You're not just pulling on the thing that's moving, you're pulling on a lever. There is a lot of exposed Technic still, but I don't mind it too much because this is supposed to be hidden around the back of the build. But yeah, with that removed out, you can see how empty the bottom is. I don't know if they were going for sort of like an abyss look, and it's supposed to be like, yeah, this is floating way above the ground, but this just looks like black plates stacked on top of each other, and doesn't really fit with this whole aesthetic. I wish there was more texture here. I think they would have been better off putting more rocks on the ground, because there is a few, but not that many. If Abyss really was the look they were going for, I don't think they did a very good job. There's also another one of these large crystal blades down here, which could be moved ever so slightly. And then the rocky base of this next platform is actually kind of good. Just some pretty simple texturing pieces used, but it's effective, and really does give it that, like, stone pillar feel. Then once you get to this top level, you have the nunchucks of lightning hidden back here. But unfortunately, there is one more trap before you get there. You have a minifigure standing right here, ready to grab the nunchucks, but you push in right here, and it knocks them right off. I don't mind that play feature, but again, there's no subtlety to it. There's just a huge Technic pin sticking out. And like, maybe if it was 2008, I could see that coming in the set, but I feel like nowadays, LEGO's been doing so much better in like integrating play features in a way where it doesn't stick out that bad. So seeing something like this, it's just, what happened here? This set feels like it desperately needs more parts included, so I really don't know like what the deal is. Anyway, moving up, you have this little shrine design. I think this looks pretty good. You have a few stickers used. I especially like the sticker at the top with the magenta on this Nexo Knight shield. And then the few transparent parts add a lot of color to this. And the overall shaping is really nice. And here you can see this is also where the new Nunchucks of Lightning are held. We'll take a look at all the golden weapons later in the video. But yeah, you can see they're just stored on top of this Technic part. And you can see there's one more of those crystal blades sticking out the side. Yeah, I really don't think this part of the build is too good at all. It just feels incomplete. The black plates at the bottom just feel out of place. They would have been much better off doing like a stony texture. The entire right side with the Sword of Fire and everything is just nothing. The play features feel incomplete. And then the side with the Nunchucks of Lightning is better, but even still there's a few things off about it. And then also, let's talk about how there's like a puzzle to get to every single one, but the Shurikens of Ice are just right there in the front. Why are those just right there in the front without any issue? It's just weird. Like, I don't get what's going on here. And yeah, just take a look at this from the back. You can just see how empty everything looks. I am like really not a fan of this at all. Lots of fun aesthetic choices here, but they're just not executed that well. Anyway, now we can move on to the main part of the build with the Crystal King's throne, and this part is significantly better. The bottom of this one still has that black abyss, but it's much better done. You can see the black parts have more angles on them to not make them feel as rigid, and there's lots of stone elements all over, right? So I think this is a really believable base for a build. You can also see there's another one of those crystals jutting out the side right there, and then just lots of other trans pink parts all over. Moving up a little bit, you can actually see it's these trans pink parts that hold the entire build up. They're trans pink Technic beams, and that's such a cool color for that part. Would really love to get more of those in more sets, because those look amazing. And then we get to the stone base of the temple, which looks really nice. Lots of varied, like, rock texture here. You have another, like, sticker Nexonite shield piece, and then you have, like, these little vines hanging down and whatnot. The terrain here feels a lot more natural than on the other parts of the build. And you can see coming around the side still looks really good. And I love how this entire thing is built upside down. You can see there's anti-studs at the very top right here. Yeah, this looks good. Then coming into the room at the base of the temple, you can see this is where the side of the Quakes is kept. You have another one of those crystals jutting out the side right here. And then there's just some room to pose figures. Not a ton of room, but you can definitely fit a few in there. And then there's a tiny little stairwell on the side to get up to the top floor. Coming to the side, you have this pink crystal cage right here, which I think looks really cool. The leaks describe this as a Tensegrity build, and I thought it was a Tensegrity build. But actually having it built up, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, guys, but I don't think this actually is a Tensegrity build. It's just like slightly off from being one. It's still a very cool way to hold a cage up, and I really like it, but it's not as cool as it could have potentially been. But yeah, you can see you have these big ugly rock pieces in trans pink, which is a cool new color for that part. I believe it is new in that color, and this is meant to be a cage to trap the ninja in. So you can open it up like this, place one of the ninja in there, and then close it back up, and there you go. You can see this sort of floating on the side, trapped. Yeah, I mean, I think this could have been cooler, but I still think that's probably the highlight of this build, and a very, very cool part of the set. And then coming up to the very top of the build, you can see there's two more Nexonite shields with stickers on them. These almost look like little banners hanging down. And you can see here at the very top, we have the Crystal King's throne. Lots more of these pink crystals jutting out, two huge pink crystals at the very back. I really like the Fabuland lamppost pieces turned upside down here to be like a shrine design. That is such a cool look, and it's a really good use of that part. And I love all the angles used here too. Moving to the throne itself, I'm about to talk about potential spoilers for the show here, so be aware. Obviously, I have not seen the show yet, but this is an educated guess based on what is in this set. But yeah, the throne here, that looks to be the Overlord symbol right there, and the throne has a very Overlord design to it. It's got these 6 spikes coming out the sides, which reminds me a lot of his like 6 ribs that he has in Rebooted, so it would make a lot of sense if this was a Overlord throne. And I actually really like the trans pink parts coming out the back. The throne can also be hinged back if you want, so the Crystal King wants to recline, that's an option. Or you can move it forward, I guess, to kick him out of the seat. But if you're curious, here's how the Crystal King looks actually sitting on the throne. And you can see there's actually jumper pieces at the front for him to stand in front of it, if you prefer. At the top, you can see the shrine comes to somewhat of a spike, very similar to the way the one that holds the Nunchucks of Lightning is designed. And then here's a look at the entire throne area from the back. And yeah, that's about the gist of the build of this set. If I had to describe it in one word, it would be sparse. There's a lot of fun concepts and really cool colors here. And the throne room area does look pretty good, but man, does this thing feel empty. I really feel like this set needed more parts, because there's not enough going on here. But I'll talk about that more in depth at the end of this video. Now let's move on to the minifigures, and then we'll get into my overall thoughts. Actually, wait, one more thing before I move on to the minifigures. The set comes with this guy. This is some sort of like flying bat creature, and obviously it is crystallized. You can see there's little crystals on a sticker on his forehead, and you can also see there's trans pink parts that run down his back and everything, and into his tail, of course. Yeah, this is a funky little guy. I always love brick-built creatures, so it's cool to see he's included in this set. You can move the wings around a little bit if you want, and the head can even be rotated. Same with the tail at the back. Yeah, pretty fun add-on to this set. Here are the first two minifigures included in this set. We have the all-new versions of Cole and Jay. These two, as well as the Zane and Kai in this set, are also actually exclusive to this set, so at least as of right now, this is the only way to get them. Before I talk about them, though, I want to touch on the new golden weapons real quick. The new side of the Quakes, I think, is a significant improvement over the old one. It still feels a little bit off. I wish there was more of a base to it. Like, the handle does seem to cut off a bit short, especially with how big the top of it is. But the, like, dragon design on the blade of the side looks amazing. And this is what the side of the Quakes should have always looked like. I really, really love that improvement. And then the new nunchucks are weird. I don't know how to feel about them. I honestly don't love them just because of where the chain connects. The chain connects in the middle for whatever reason, and I just feel like there's no good way for Jay to hold them. It looks slightly better when he's holding them up like this than when he holds them down, but when he holds them up like this, they don't really look like nunchucks, do they? So yeah, I just feel like they're too big and the chain's connected in a weird spot, so I much prefer the legacy versions of the nunchucks, but it's still cool to have an alternative. Also, as with every other set this wave, you get every single golden weapon in this set. Every single golden weapon is actually used in this set, but these golden weapons are a part of a new accessory pack you can see like this, and every bag comes with 2 sides of Quakes, 2 swords of fire, 4 shurikens of ice, only 1 nunchucks of lightning, and then 2 samurai helmet add-ons. So you get all of that in this set as well as in every other set. Removing the weapons though, you can see the full ninja suit designs for Cole and Jay, and these look amazing. I'm actually shocked how much I like these. I fully expected to much prefer the golden versions of the ninja this wave, but no, just their standard suits are really nice looking. All the orange used on Cole is absolutely beautiful. I love it on his belt and on his headband, and the actual design seems super detailed. He almost has like some armored shoulder pads, and I think it all just ties together really nicely. This is a really, really good Cole suit. And then on Jay, something very interesting about him is the base color is dark blue for his hood, and I think that really helps his figure stand out from other Jay figures, and then regular blue is just used on the headband here. The torso design, not as good as Cole's, but I'd still say it's fairly solid, and the legs look good too. I don't think Jay's as good because the dark blue sort of blends with the normal blue a little bit, but all the colors on Cole really pop, and the design just looks fantastic. They, of course, have their Season 11 armor, and they should both come with katanas. Not sure where Cole's went, but they do all come with silver katanas in this set. And here they are with armor and hood removed, so you can see their full torso print as well as their face prints. And there's their back torso prints as well as their alternate faces. Jay's back torso print I kind of get Seabound vibes from, and Cole's once again looks really good. I love the use of the orange. They use that orange perfectly in these sets. Then the next 2 figures in the set, we have Zane and Kai. This might be one of the best Zane suits we've ever gotten. Reminds me a lot of Island Zane, but they use a lot more of this bright blue here. Not by much, but there is a bit of it, and I think that makes the suit look beautiful. The core suit used the bright blue, and I think that's the coolest part of the core suit, but man, they really just tied it all together here. I like the light gray arms too, that's a nice touch. And then like the golden knee pads and like the animal print on the torso. Yeah, it all just combines together really nicely. Also, the white symbol on the forehead feels a little out of place on the other ninja, but it fits Zane really well. This is a really, really good Zane suit, probably one of my favorites. And then Kai, this gives me sort of Island Kai vibes, and unfortunately I don't feel like it's that distinct. The little bits of brown on the ropes are definitely the highlights of the suit. They're what make it pop the most. But as a whole, the dark red and the red is a color combination we've seen before, so in my opinion, this one is nothing all too new. Here they are with hoods and armor removed, same face prints that you'd expect. And here is the back torso prints as well as the alternate faces. I actually think the symbol in Kai's back torso print looks a little bit better. The white actually works pretty well there, and I wish we saw that more in the front. But that back torso print on Zane especially, like, wow, that just looks amazing. Really, really well designed. Yeah, once again, LEGO did a fantastic job with these two. Kai is maybe a little generic, but he's still very good, and Zane is just fantastic all around. Again, both these guys are exclusive to this set, and they're both great figures to get. And then here are the final 2 figures in the set. We have a Vengestone Guard and the Crystal King himself. The Vengestone Guard is exactly the same as the Vengestone Brute that comes in other sets. The only difference is the Guard has this crystal armor. This is the same crystal armor that you see on the Vengestone Generals, but it's cool to see just one of the generic villains has it too. I've gone over these guys in other reviews, so I won't spend too long here, but in short, I love them for just like generic villains. They're very, very well designed. All the trans pink parts look incredible, and I love just the design of the torso with like the crystal crackling up, little bits of gold bursting through, and then there's like actual purple armor and the Overlord symbol right there. In terms of accessory, he has this crystal blade right here. That's the new crystal piece introduced with this wave, and I think it works really well for a sword here. And if you haven't seen the crystal armor before, if we turn this guy around, you can see he has studs on his back, where you can attach something there if you want. But if you remove that, there's what the back torso print looks like. Again, more of that crystal design. Very, very well designed overall. And then the Crystal King himself. Wow, this is just a breathtaking minifigure. So much going on here. He's entirely gunmetal gray, and he's got lots of intricate gold detailing, with bits of magenta and silver and black and purple all throughout. And it all comes together to give him a very royal, but also ominous look. The head on this guy's sort of like lion-like, and you can see it's actually very similar to an Oni mask. It connects onto the samurai helmet right here. But unlike the Oni mask in these helmets, the mask here can actually flip up. And if we turn it back around, you can see his face print. And yeah, who's that look like to you guys? That is most likely the Overlord. So most likely the Crystal King is the Overlord. Especially considering that's the Overlord symbol right there. That right there looks like the Overlord's eyes. Yeah, that's pretty definitive in my opinion. Which is very exciting. I'm curious to see like what he's going to be like in the show. Removing the mask completely though, there you can see that's how the samurai helmet looks. And if I remove the helmet, you can see the full face print. Removing the upper part of the torso that gives him the forearms, now you can see the actual torso design. And you can see right there you have that golden ribcage, which looks very similar to the Overlord's 2014 design. And again, you have the Overlord symbol right there. And I just love how this armor looks like the little bits of purple peeking through. That's just super well detailed. I absolutely love that. And of course, there's some metallic bits that shine in the light. And then turning this guy around, you can see his back torso print, more of that metallic gold to represent just like that ribcage. Oh, and the one final thing, the Crystal King comes with these trans pink katanas, which are a really cool retailer for that part. Those come in a few sets, but I'm very happy to get them here because they look amazing. Yeah, overall, very interesting figure. He comes in a total of 3 sets. The forearmed version only comes in 2 sets, so this is the cheapest way to get the forearmed version of him. And it makes me very excited to see like what's going to happen with him in the show. I like both of these overall. Very well designed minifigures. So, what are my overall thoughts on this set? Honestly, I was really let down by the build on this set. It feels sparse, it feels empty. There's a lot of cool ideas here, but the set itself is just not enough. So for the build alone, would I recommend it? No, probably not. But build aside, seeing it entirely as a figure pack, the minifigures here are really good. You get the Crystal King for somewhat cheap. I mean, I say cheap, it's the cheapest way to get this version of him, but it is still $80, so that's still like an expensive set. But you get 4 exclusive ninja minifigures, which are probably the ninja's normal suits for this wave, so that does make the set quite desirable. But yeah, I think it's absurd that this is $80. I think it's absurd how little is here. Think about like the Skull Sorcerer's Dungeons, which is one of my favorite Ninjago terrain builds of all time. That's only $20 more than this set. And that set is significantly better, significantly more detailed. This just feels incomplete. I'm really not a fan of how this turned out, which is disappointing to say, because there's so many cool concepts here. I was really hoping this set would be good, but unfortunately, I don't feel like it's that great. But those are just my thoughts. I'm curious to hear what you guys think of this set in the comments below. Do you like it more than me? Maybe you do. Maybe I'm just a hater. But yeah, as much as I love this wave, this one just feels out of place. All the sets this wave are too expensive, but most of them, even though they're too expensive, at least feel like they're very well detailed. This one's not as badly priced as the others, but man, is it lacking. So yeah, unless you really want these minifigures, I wouldn't recommend this one. Just not my favorite set from this wave. But anyway, yeah, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, as I said at the beginning, if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new, there's more early Ninjago reviews and other very fun stuff coming soon. So if you want to see that, liking and subscribing will help put it in your sub box as soon as it's posted. But as for this video, I think that's about going to do it. Thanks for watching everybody, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!